Hi everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. This video explains the fourth hexagram in I-Ching called the Youthful Folly. So what's the meaning behind this Youthful Folly name? We can actually find this explanation based on the arrangement of this triagram, because the inner triagram on the bottom is water and the outer triagram is mountain. So we can have this image of a waterfall coming down from a tall mountain. Of course, it's gonna have a lot of splashes and mist around it. So it's an image trying to describe a situation where we're still in a very young and beginning phase of our life or of any circumstances. You're not very clear on the right way of how things work or the right value to follow. You're kind of covered by this mist. It's very vaguely you can see things, but not with clarity. So it's kind of having a veil in front of us. So that's the description of this fourth hexagram. If you land on this one, it actually means whatever you're asking, right? The answer is because of your hesitation or lack of understanding or proper guidance from somebody who's more experienced, you might lead to undesirable outcome. But another way to think about this is also imagine like water coming out of a mountain fresh. It is so pure and naive. That describes the other aspect of this ignorance. It's like a little child. It's so innocent. Just because it doesn't know the way or the right way now doesn't mean it doesn't have a chance to learn it with proper guidance, right? So that emphasizes the importance of, if you're wise, you need to seek proper guidance and instruction, and you can turn the whole situation around. And each line's explanation is just based on different situations of, if you belong to this particular phase, this is the corresponding way to solve your ignorance, to push you forward to the next phase. So it also have a positive tone about how to get yourself out of this ignorance stage. So beginning with the first line is an yin line. So that's at the very bottom of this overall water triagram. It doesn't even see the sunlight. It's the very initial beginning phase of this ignorance because of the following even the number 3 hexagram, right? Because number 3 means, I guess, stuck in the beginning phase. This one is like you suddenly push yourself over a little bit and you start to flourish, but you're still in such an initial phase that there's so many vagueness, initial raw desire that can lead you to the wrong way. So because of the position of this one, and it's also a yin line, the right approach to help the person is actually use proper discipline, meaning that maybe everybody is in this initial, I follow my greed, I follow my raw desire, which might lead to wrong decisions. If you use the right type of law to punish those severe violators, the rest of the population might see that and do the right thing. So that's the essence of this line, is meaning use the law, proper punishment and discipline. The purpose is not about the punishment itself. Really, the intent is to prevent people from making regretful decisions down the road. So it says discipline and setting the right example will liberate ignorance. Overall, this is not a super positive one because you have to resort to the foundational legal punishment level to solve this ignorance problem. This person is now ready to be coached in a more proactive way. And moving to the second line, this is a yang line. So overall in this hexagram, yin means I'm trapped in this ignorance. Yang line is the solve. It's kind of shedding that light to balance the yin stage of being kind of covered in a lot of veil and you don't see clarity. So the second line meaning I'm a very young natured person. I have a lot of life experience and guidance to give, but positionally I'm in the lower level of this hexagram, meaning I might not be a person in power, but because of my enlightenment level, I'm more embracing the whole population with big love. I want to help them without really any self-interest motive. I'm helping other people to solve their ignorance because I care, because I love them. So because of this, Yang's pure and positive intent is a very positive result, because that's the elevated way to solve ignorance. And moving to the third line, positionally is kind of the transitional from the inner to the outer trigram, right? So it's kind of have that unsteady nature to it. And also because it's an yin line, it's supposedly the right pair for this third position is the top one, right? It's yin and yang being paired together. But what this is saying that it just lost its patience because I'm being ignorant. I'm following my raw human desire to be kind of attracted by the yang close to myself, rather than having the patience to wait for the one destined for me. So because of this weak willpower, I make decisions based on immediate greed or profit. So I want to take shortcuts. And because of that, it leads to a very disastrous result. So this is a very bad one. Moving on to the fourth one, is also an inline, meaning I'm trapped by ignorance. And unfortunately, this guy has no support. It's in a very isolated position because both of his neighbors are yin, and the one is paired with is the first one is also a yin, meaning that I'm so desperate, I'm trapped by this ignorance, even though seemingly I have a lot of friends. But all the friends I have are yin people. They're also in the ignorant state. I'm not able to access a young person giving me the right mentorship and guidance to proceed. So because I'm bound by this ignorance, I'm trapped. The results are negative. I'm moving to the fifth one. Even though it's still a yin one, but positionally it's in the top, kind of a position with power compared to that second one. So person without power, right? And the natural partnership is the positionally the fifth and the second line form that natural relationship. And fortunately enough, this is a yin and this is a yang. They naturally bound together. So what that means is, even though I'm a person in power, imagine like in ancient China time in history, there are a lot of 5-year-old, 6-year-old emperors become emperor because of this by blood type of passing down the power, right? But I'm a kid. I don't have the life experience to make the power. That's not my own fault. It's just because of my age. But with the open to learning, very humble attitude, I seek the guidance from this second line, which has a lot more life experience, but positionally they're beneath me. If I'm humble enough to seek help from those type of people, I will also achieve success in terms of breaking my ignorance. So this one is actually a very positive result because of your humbleness and willing to learn from others who might be less positionally power to you, but they have more experience. So learn from those people. And last but not least, the top line. This is like you tried everything you could to solve this ignorance issue. At the last stage, if this person is still stuck in an ignorant stage, I have no other option. So I tried everything. This is last resort. I have to use a very firm tone to correct it before you go down the wrong path too long. So this one means I use form correction. The purpose is to correct the person, but the call out for the last line is you really have to pay attention to the severity and the degree, because if you get out of that balanced zone and become too firm or too strict, that recipient of your guidance might perceive you as an enemy, and that's kind of counterintuitive. You won't achieve the result you want to see, right? They might see you as an enemy and back off. So it's like use firm correction, but also realize don't overdo it, because the purpose of this firm correction is to help protect the recipient versus making the recipient perceive you as a threat. So that's the final call out of this last line. And that's kind of an overall explanation of the fourth hexagram. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.